Hello, welcome to my happy place. First off, I want to apologize. I did not get a video up on YouTube yesterday. I had some unforeseen circumstances, and that precluded me from getting it done. So today what we're going to be doing is we are going to be working on Spinifex template number 8, one of my favorites. And it's hard for me to pick a favorite, but I really just love this one. It does so many different things, and it's just so versatile, so very, very versatile. So Spinifex 8, what we have, as we do in all of our Spinifex, we have our collection of 5 templates, 3.5, 5.5, 7.5, 9.5, and 11.5. And here is our picture of an 8-point rotation. And of course, a picture of the templates and the shank size that you use. I use a low shank. So when we open up, we get these pictures, and you've seen me say this before. A Spinifex 8 is available in 7 sizes. Even though there's only 5 sizes that comes in the kit, it's also available in the mini 2.5 and mini 1.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 8 rotations, and then we're going to finish it off with 16 rotations. What I like about this is it shows you the rotations using either side as the center. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and, a few more things. I almost forgot. I apologize. A few extra designs that you can make. And, of course, our bio on Leonie West, designer inventor of Westalee Templates and Rulers. Okay, so we'll move all of this aside. And what I'm going to do is I am going to go from the bottom of the template. To me, this just makes sense as we're testing each one out. As I said before, we're definitely going to come back and do more things with each one. We're just going to have a whole lot of fun with this. So I've got my bobbin thread brought up to the top. I'm going to line those vertical lines up, hold my threads back, and I'm going to just take a stitch in place, and I'm going to move that foot down just a tad because it was loose. Okay, there we go, perfect. Again, on the curved parts, I like to go just a little bit shorter stitch length. So I need to adjust you just a little too. I neglected that. Here, let's go ahead and do it this way. There we go. I'll make sure you get a good view of this. There we go. Perfect. Okay, even though, as I said, I take a shorter stitch length on the curved portions of the template, what I will almost universally do is if it's got a curve and a straight line, I will keep that stitch length even. In other words, what I don't do is I don't make longer stitches on the straight areas here and a shorter stitch on that curved area. I do like to keep them all consistent. Okay, and we're going to go to the opposite side like we always do. Get my thread out of the way. Line my vertical line. You also have horizontal line to line up there too, which really gets helpful. Okay, and off we go. Take that one extra stitch at the top. You don't want to take a lot of stitches at the top because that will give you a little ball of thread on the back of that stitch, and you really don't want that. just one stitch is enough. Oh, I'm going to stop right here. I'm not going to take my hand off the template, but what I am going to do is I'm going to draw that thread up. Okay, and I am going to clip it. The reason we can do that is because we are going to be going over that area many times, and that thread will definitely be locked in there. Okay, here's our third rotation. And around that curve, nice smooth curve on this template. It doesn't have any of those sharp curves that you can fall off of. For those of you who haven't been watching or are new to the channel, I'm stitching with a vintage sewing machine. It's a Singer 301. It was built in the 50s. It is a straight stitch machine only, which means it only goes forwards and backwards. I find this to be my favorite machine for free motion and ruler work. And I have done full-size quilts in here. As a matter of fact, I'm doing one now, and you'll be able to see bits and pieces of it on the videos, on the YouTube videos as I go along. I'm going to just take this out. And there is 4 points. Now that would be so nice and clean for a modern quilt. I just love that. We're not done yet though. We're going to put this back in. And we're going to make 4 more for 8 points. And what you're going to realize, or notice, I should say, as we go along, you're going to start seeing secondary designs developing here, which I think sometimes are so much fun. Sometimes those secondary designs can make it look very intricate and make it look like we really worked hard at getting them. And little do people know, it's just a product of the stitching that we're doing with the template. So let them think it was really difficult. Just say thank you. It was fun to do. Which brings up another thing. What I've noticed over the years is that most of my students point out their mistakes. And I think a lot of quilters point out their mistakes. I point out my mistakes. And it's really something we need to get over as quilters. We don't need to do that. Couple of reasons why. First, we're not perfect. We're human beings. And we're prone to make mistakes. And little mistakes are no great big deal as far as I'm concerned. I have a 30-30 rule. If you're traveling 30 miles an hour and your quilt is 30 feet away, if you can see it, it's a mistake. If you can't, it's not a mistake. The other thing, we can make it a design choice. Oh, no, we really wanted it that way, right? And the other thing is, most non-quilters will never see your mistake. So allow yourself the grace of not being perfect. When someone compliments your work, tell them thank you, because they mean what they say. When they look at it and say it's absolutely perfect, and you point out mistake and they say, oh, I never would have seen that. Well, the truth is they never would have seen it had you not pointed it out. Okay, so this is our 8th rotation. I'm going to get right back to the center here. Okay, now let's take a look. I think I've got all 8 points in, yes. Oops. Ah, there we go. I love it. Isn't that cool? That's so pretty. And what's cool about it is if we flip it over, we get a whole different design. So in essence, we're getting 2 designs in one with the Spinifex 8. We are with most of our Spinifex, but the Spinifex 8, I think, has the biggest wow factor for stitching it one way or another. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to 16 points now. And again, I'm going to do each point across from the point that I'm working on now. So from this side, I will go over to this side, right behind it. And I'm going to turn it all the way. Oops, there it is. I almost lost it. Okay, and here we go. So, to save you some time and energy, and the fact that it can be pretty boring watching me just continue to stitch rotations, I'm going to go ahead, pause you, and come back when we've got our 16 rotations in. Okay, here we are, the last rotation. And it gets a little bit of thread built up in the center there, but it's not difficult to manage that. I like to stop about half a stitch before and just walk my thread over to the other side. Another thing that works really well is using a wool mat and steam and a wooden device called a clapper, and that helps to crush those threads down pretty good. So here we are. We have our 16 rotations. This thread, I will go back and I will bury it. And this is our Spinifex 8. I hope you like it. It's really a nice Spinifex. And like I said, I love the secondary designs that are developed here. So we've got 8 done. We have 16 in total. So we're halfway home. So until we meet again, let's quilt.